Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am AmalgamAsh, and today I would like to go over more of the default templated events that come with RPG developer BAKIN. To access these events, we simply click on the Event tab in the map editor. Today, let's look at the Traps category. First up is the Blue Button event. On contact, the button turns on and the blue button door opens. Another contact will turn it off and close the door, and the event switch blue, will be turned on or off. Here you can see that it contains a default graphic of a blue button for the off as well as for the on. These are two different graphics. You can also change this to a custom event, which of course you cannot convert back to this simple event, but this will allow you to take a look at all of the logic and parameters that make up this event. The blue button works in conjunction with the blue button door event. This will open on contact with the place event blue button when it is on. The state of the event switch blue is judged. In other words, it's going to check to see if the switch is turned on. When you step on the button, the switch will be turned on, and then you'll be able to go through the door. This will be very useful if you want to just plug and play a system where you have a button hidden somewhere in a dungeon, and the door is very obvious, but you need to go find the button and then navigate your way back to the door to go through it. The blue button door event allows you to change the graphic of the door. Next up, we have a green button event, which is, for all intents and purposes, the same as the blue button event, but it does affect a different switch, and it corresponds to the green button door event, which is the same as the blue button door event, but it is also checking that different switch green. So you can use both of these events in the same dungeon. Similarly, we have the red button event, the red button door, the yellow button event, and the yellow button door. You can use all four of these in conjunction to create some semi-complex dungeon mazes. See how we have the default text in our playtest saying you were unable to open the door until we step on the corresponding buttons, and then the door opens without any problems whatsoever. We also have the all-purpose button event, and you can actually choose what switch you would like to affect with this button. You can even add your own switches that can be affected by the contact of this button. The door open with the specified event switch event corresponds with this all-purpose button or any other button that you have placed in your dungeon. You simply just need to select which switch it will be activated with. Next up, we've got the all-purpose button treasure chest. Get money. This is a treasure chest that unlocks when the selected event switch is on. The player gets the amount of money in the treasure chest. The event switch will be turned on and off by placing another event all-purpose button. Here we can choose the event switch to unlock the treasure chest. In this case, it can be any of the existing buttons, including our all-purpose button, the amount of money that is in the treasure chest, and the graphic of the treasure chest itself. Next, we have all-purpose button treasure chest get an item. This is essentially the same as the get money treasure chest, but this allows you to select an item to be obtained as well as that item's pronoun. Next, we have all-purpose button treasure chest get important item, which is essentially the same thing, but this event has different fanfare for its sound whenever you open the chest to indicate that it is a very important item that you just got. Save this for things like boss keys or rare weapons. Next up, we have all-purpose button treasure chest message. This is a treasure chest that unlocks when the selected event switch is on. When checked, the message in the treasure chest will be displayed. So this is exactly like the regular treasure chests, except there's a message in it instead of any kind of treasure. Perhaps this is where you can place your treasure maps. Next up, we have the pushable box. This is just like the pushable object event in the physics category, except it gives you a box graphic by default. And instead of typical physics, this actually just moves in the direction of one tile. So this is great for your Sokoban mini games where you can push boxes through mazes, trying not to cut yourself off, or the exit. Next up is breakable block with item. The block breaks when inspected if carrying a special item. You can set the required item to break as well as the breakable block graphic. You can also set a message that will display whenever the player checks the block but does not have the required item. Next up is displaying message on contact. Top on contact, a message will be displayed at the upper part of the screen. This does not have a graphic, although you can set one, and you can set the message to be displayed. This is just a typical event that will cause a message to be displayed whenever you make contact with it, and it will display at the top of the screen. We have displaying message on contact middle, which does the same thing but displays that same message in the middle, and displaying message on contact bottom. The same event, but this time the message displays at the bottom of the screen. Next, we have auto message top. When the map this event is placed in is displayed, a message will be displayed at the top of the screen. It can be placed anywhere on the map. Again, no default graphic here, although you can set one and you can display the message. The auto message middle is the same event, but the message will display in the middle of the screen, and the auto message bottom is the same event, but will display the message at the bottom of the screen. Just to have a look at what these events will actually look like in the map during playtest, you can see the message here, it was a sunny morning. And then the middle one takes effect, it was a sunny afternoon, and then the bottom message takes effect, it was an afternoon with a pleasant breeze. After you cycled through the messages, the events are finished. Here I am stepping on the event for just displaying a message whenever you do make contact with these events. Bottom, middle, and top respectively. The Sokoban box that I can push works perfectly well, and of course I cannot break this block because I don't have the required item to break. Next, let's take a look at the functions category. We have 6 events in this category, so this will be pretty quick. We have the disable save function. Once this event is placed on the map, the save function in the menu will be disabled thereafter. Please note that the player cannot save the game unless placing save points separately or placing an enable save function event. This doesn't have a graphic, although you can set one. Next up is the enable save function event, which is the opposite event. Next up is the save point event. This one actually has a graphic, the save point graphic. When the player checks it out, a question will be displayed, and selecting yes will bring up the save screen. When the save function of the menu is prohibited, this event must be placed to save the game. You can change the graphic and you can change the save confirmation, which by default reads, there is a save point. Are you sure you want to save your game? Now you don't have to use the disable save function in order to place this event, but these two events work perfectly well together. Next up is the enable and disable monster encounters with item. If the player has a specified item, monsters will no longer appear when moving around the map. When the player does not have the item, monsters will appear. This event can be placed anywhere in the map. To resume the appearance of monsters after moving to another map, place this event on that map as well. This event will allow you to specify the item to disable monster encounters. Next up is the disable monster encounters with event switch. This event reads, when a specified event switch is turned on, monsters will no longer appear when the player moves around the map. When the event switch is off, monsters will appear. This event can be placed anywhere in the map, and to resume the appearance of monsters after moving to another map, place this event on that map as well. This event allows you to select the event switch for judgment. In other words, the switch that determines whether or not monsters can be encountered in a given map. Finally, we have the ending staff credits event. This is a pretty awesome event. You can create an ending that features the names of the members who created the game. You can select the switch to start the ending. And then we actually get 8 fields in which to place our credits across various categories, roles, and titles such as planning and drafting to scenario creator to special thanks. And that is it for this particular event tour. I hope that you learned something from this video, although if you are an intermediate user of RPG developer BAKIN, all of this stuff is probably second nature to you by now, so this is basically a review of the fundamentals, and for anybody who hasn't used this engine yet, to see what it is capable of. We've got one more event tour video to go through before we start hitting the event panels themselves and addressing intermediate functionality, so please look forward to it. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.